Okay, first question. What was your favorite part of the USC Global Health Case Competition, and what is one key lesson that you've learned?
I really enjoyed being able to go back and watch everyone else's presentations in the final round. I think it's key to being able to grow as a presenter and then also in future endeavors if we decided that we wanted to maybe work in the global health sector, like seeing how other people approach presenting and also coming up with an intervention. And I think a key lesson as well that we kind of all took away from this was like not get too stuck in our ideas in the beginning and keep seeking that innovation, that growth wherever possible, even if something isn't necessarily integrated into a health system currently, like that doesn't mean that it's not too grand for us to envision as well.
I love that. Thank you. Next question. How did you work together to bring each of your respective backgrounds and majors into the case? And what did you learn about interdisciplinary action for global health?
I think I can take that. Um, I think this was such an incredible opportunity to work with people from different schools at USC. And I think that kind of naturally, when we first started the competition, based on what each of us decided to research about the case, was kind of its own little pocket. And it ended up blending really well together to create our final plan. And I think through this second iteration with Emory, I think each of us have kind of continued to do research on like similar facets of a similar plan, and really got to delve deep. So I think it was really interesting to see how each of us kind of had specific interests that just molded really well together. And I truly think that it's just a great demonstration of the fact that you need an interdisciplinary team to like create large effective change. And I don't think I would be able to have done this without any of these four women.
Amazing. And then what do you see as the most challenging part of the case from USC? Whether content or just like how to manage a massive case that you receive when you only have 2 weeks.
So I feel like for a lot of the global health like cases, it's hard to, especially if you're not from the background of the case, you always want to be mindful of like the cultural significance of the case. So I think for us, maybe the most difficult part was making sure that we were being culturally mindful and like making sure that our project would actually be able to be implemented properly in the country of choice. So I think like when you're doing these type of competitions, it's important to always make sure that you're doing the research and trying to do the work into understanding what are the cultural beliefs, what are the religious beliefs, and the things that really would allow your case to flourish or to fall through. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think that's one of the really key pieces, and it shows through like when I'm like watching all the presentations, like the teams that have thought really hard about the community that they're like working with, and whether they see it as I'm working with them or I'm just like imposing, and that's a really key piece. Um, all right, for Sasame or for Vanilla, what lessons will you take to Emory?
Um, I think one is that we are like over preparers and we go into the weeds. And then when you're like trying to give someone a presentation, you want to like convince them of all this information that you've done, but also that like this is the right answer, even though there's never really a right answer. So I think it's definitely like taking us outside of the science brain and putting us into like, this is our business person brain. And I think that's something that for all of us here is not like first nature. So that was definitely a huge lesson that I learned, especially just like how to convince someone that like the work you've done is thorough and like we're ready to just sell this. Definitely that. I think also just like remembering to have fun in the middle of it because we would really just get in. We had like 40 papers open, but then just being able to laugh and like take a step back and being like, this is an amazing opportunity that we're even able to just explore. So definitely that.
Great. And then last question, what are you most excited about at the Emory competition?
I think definitely just for me at least, I'm super excited to see how everyone approaches the case. I think something that's so wonderful is like everyone's different, everyone has different backgrounds, everyone has different interests, even just within our group. what we initially first brainstormed, we all came at it from a different approach, and there's no right answer, as you would say. So just seeing how, I don't know, collaboration is so interesting, and it can take you so many different ways when approached at the same topic, and just seeing how different everything can be and what potential outcomes people have come up with.
Great. Thank you all so much.